Hello everybody, and it is my great pleasure to bring you the 2021 DDNet Game of the Year Awards. We're going to be announcing one per day over much of this month, celebrating the very best and brightest of the video game industry through the year, and it has been an absolutely incredible year indeed. There has almost not been a single week that has gone by without a game that is worth talking about, and we have almost 50 games to award across all of our categories this year, just showing just how much variety and quality and depth there has been in what developers and publishers have been able to put out through very difficult situations. This year we will be giving away 4 awards per category, 2 bronze, 1 silver and 1 gold. It should go without saying which is the top award, that being the gold of course, but don't overlook the others. These are all excellent games that you're going to see over the course of these awards, and we highly recommend that you try each and every single one of them. So with all of that, sit back, relax and enjoy, and allow us to bring you the very best that 2021 has given us. The first bronze medal in our Best Game from Asia excluding Japan award goes to Devotion. Devotion is in a bit of a unique position in that it was originally released back in 2019, but it ran into all kinds of political issues thanks to Chinese censors, and it was removed from Steam and every other storefront there was. It has remained inaccessible until this year, at which point the developer has released it on their own store after GOG pulled out of her prior distribution arrangement. Because of this, we are effectively counting this as a 2021 release on that basis. And we do think that everybody should play it because, as unfortunate as the political thing has been, Devotion is actually a superb and deeply atmospheric horror game that has some incredible environmental storytelling. It taps into Taiwanese folklore and storytelling traditions in an incredibly potent way. This game holds cultural resonance and is a genuine work of art, so if you missed the opportunity to play it on its original release, make sure that you do check it out in this year. The second bronze medal goes to The Legend of Tiang Ding. This is a game that tells the story of Taiwan's Robin Hood, and that is certainly an intriguing concept for a game. If you are to play it, you'll quickly realize that the quality of it goes well beyond being intriguing. This is an excellent, excellent game. It tells the story of a hero that resisted the imperialist Japanese at the early part of the last century, back when they were occupied, when Taiwan was occupied. Tiang Ding is an action brawler, but it is one that speaks to the Taiwanese culture and storytelling as well. It's not just an action game, there is cultural context behind that. When you're not brawling your way through 2D levels, you're enjoying a comic book style narrative, giving this game a great blend of nostalgia and modernity in the way that it works as a game as well. It is a delight to play in action because even if you're not that into your brawlers, the sheer range of moves that are available to you and the variety in the gameplay is exceptional. The most impressive thing perhaps is that this game is a first effort from the developer, whose mission goal is to tell Taiwanese stories through game development, and that gives us a sense that we've probably got a lot to look forward to from them in the years ahead. The silver medal in the Best Game from Asia excluding Japan category goes to Lyrica 2. Now you might be tempted to dismiss Lyrica 2 as being more of the same from the original, because it doesn't do anything substantially different to that original game. But then again, it doesn't really need to, when the original did what it did in such an interesting way, and the sequel is just building on that. Lyrica 2 is a rhythm game after all, and mechanically, if these things aren't broken, you don't actually need to fix them. What's important is that the music is on point and of a similar quality each time, and Lyrica 2 does follow its predecessor in doing some of the most interesting things that we've seen with music in the genre. So the thing about Lyrica 2 is that it takes Chinese poems, ballads, and stories and turns them into the lyrics for music, which it then applies to a wide range of different modern styles. There's pop, R&B, rock, electronica, rap, and so many other different genres of modern music, all backed by words that have some kind of cultural resonance behind them. The developers created these games because they wanted to find new ways to introduce China's long and rich literary history to the world, and with Lyrica 2, they've really latched onto something that's quite amazing. The gold medal winner in this category goes to Xuan Uen Sword 7. I do hope I pronounced that correctly, I probably haven't, but putting aside my inability to pronounce the name of the game properly, it is a magnificent action RPG with its own Asian narrative and philosophy behind it. Rooted in Moism or Moist thought, the game tracks a young man in his efforts to save his sister. And while that is a story that we've all come across a lot, you've never seen it packaged in quite this way. And that really summarizes so much of what we love about Xuan Uen Sword 7. It is familiar for genre fans, and yet it also has its own unique way of looking at the world and a fresh take on things. It is why we like the idea of world games as a concept so much and want to celebrate it wherever possible, because it does give us that variety. It is not just about how games play, but also the stories that they tell and the cultural perspectives from which they come. For the international release, Xuan Uen Sword 7 was also backed by an incredibly competent localization effort by the publishers East Asia Soft. And that, in two, is an important step forward. For so many years, games that have come from mainland and Taiwan in Asia have been limited by their localizations, and they often feel like they're cheap and quick minimum efforts as a result, purely because the text hasn't been localized particularly well. The games end up playable, but they lose so much when the localization isn't on point. Xuan Uen Sword 7, with the backing of East Asia Soft, represents what we hope will become the future for games out of the rest of Asia, excluding Japan.